The day Earth's weakest proved to be the strongest. Let me tell you about the day everything changed at the galaxy's most prestigious military academy. It was the day we learned that being the apex predators of the universe wasn't quite what we thought it was. Another perfect score, Commander Thex announced, her 4 eyes glowing with approval as she reviewed my combat simulation results. As expected from a Drachnid warrior, I straightened my scaled back, my retractable claws clicking against the polished obsidian floor of the simulation chamber. Of course, it was perfect. We Drachnids had evolved from the deadliest hunters in the known galaxies. Our ancestors had conquered solar systems, while most species were still figuring out how to make fire. "Thank you, Commander," I responded, keeping my voice modulated to show just the right amount of respect. The simulation barely presented a challenge. The other cadets watching from the observation deck shifted uncomfortably. Good. They should be uncomfortable. In 6 cycles at the Galactic Elite Military Academy, no one had come close to matching my combat scores. Commander Thex's secondary arms crossed behind her back as she addressed the gathered cadets. "This, future warriors, is what peak performance looks like. Cadet Cracks demonstrates why Gemma remains the most selective institution in the United Systems." I allowed myself a small growl of satisfaction. Gemma accepted only 1 in 10,000 applicants each cycle. Every species sent their finest warriors here, hoping to join the ranks of the Galactic Peace Forces. But everyone knew that predator species, like us Drachnids, were naturally superior. "I heard they're accepting a human this cycle," whispered Cadet Naira, her luminescent antenna twitching with barely contained amusement. I turned my head exactly 47 degrees, the precise angle to show amused dismissal in Drachnid body language. "A human? You mean those soft, furless creatures from that backwater planet? This has to be some kind of political gesture." The gathered cadets buzzed and chittered with laughter. Even Commander Thex's upper lip curled slightly, though she maintained her professional demeanor. "Actually," came a new voice, deep and resonant. Grand Marshal Thex, our academy head, stepped out of the quantum lift. His massive form, covered in battle-scarred exoskeletal plates, commanded immediate silence. The human cadet scored higher on the entrance trials than anyone since Cracks. I felt my inner eyelids flutter in surprise. Surely, this was some kind of joke. Humans were barely Category 3 on the galactic threat scale. My species, the Drachnids, were Category 1 apex predators. Even their strongest warriors would struggle against our juveniles. "With all due respect, Grand Marshal," I said carefully, "there must be some mistake. Humans lack natural weapons, no claws, no venom, no enhanced strength. Their endurance is decent, I'll grant you that." "Their trial scores were verified multiple times?" Cadet Cracks, Grand Marshal Thex interrupted. "The human arrives tomorrow. I expect all of you to remember that Gemma's reputation was built on excellence, not prejudice." As the Grand Marshal turned to leave, I caught Cadet BTH's eye from across the chamber. The massive KTH was our top close combat specialist, his crystalline armor gleaming under the artificial lights. He flexed his serrated arm blades and gave me a look that said everything. This human wouldn't last a week. I clicked my claws against the floor again, this time in anticipation. Tomorrow was going to be very, very interesting. "Simulation complete," announced the AI. "Would you like to begin another session, Cadet Cracks?" "No," I replied, my fangs glinting in what humans would call a smile. "I think I'll save my energy for tomorrow. Something tells me we're going to have quite the welcome ceremony for our new colleague." The quantum lift hummed to life the next morning, bringing with it our newest cadet. The gathered crowd fell silent as the doors slid open, everyone straining to get their first look at the human. "That's it," BTH rumbled next to me, his crystalline plates shifting with barely contained laughter. The human stood exactly 6 feet tall, according to my optical sensors, brown hair, pale skin, and absolutely no natural armor or weapons to speak of. He wore the standard Gemma cadet uniform, which only emphasized how ordinary he looked. "Welcome to the Galactic Elite Military Academy," Grand Marshal Thex announced. "Cadets, meet Jack Morrison of Earth." The human's eyes, only two of them, how limiting, scanned the crowd with careful precision. His face remained neutral, but something about his stance made my scales itch. He moved with an unusual fluidity, like a Venusian water serpent. "Thank you, Grand Marshal," Morrison said, his voice carrying clearly across the gathering hall. "I look forward to training with the best warriors in the galaxy." Several cadets snickered. Naira's antenna curled in amusement. Training? More like surviving. But I noticed something others missed. When Morrison walked down the steps, his footfalls made absolutely no sound. Even our stealthiest assassin species couldn't move that quietly on the resonant metal floors. "Cadet Morrison," Commander Thex said, stepping forward, "you'll demonstrate your basic combat skills." "The arena is ready." Morrison nodded. "What are the parameters?" "Level 8 combat drones," Thex replied. "Standard evasion and neutralization test." Level 8? That was advanced even for senior cadets. Surely they wouldn't risk killing Morrison on his first day. Morrison simply rolled his shoulders. "Understood." As the simulation began, the drones attacked, firing in a perfect triangulation. But Morrison moved, no flowed between them, dodging by millimeters and taking them down with swift, precise strikes. The first drone fell before it could recalibrate. "Impossible," Naira whispered. The remaining drones switched to close combat, but Morrison outmaneuvered them with ease. The third drone never stood a chance. Time: 14.6 seconds. "New Academy record," the AI announced. Silence fell. Morrison stood unscathed. Commander Thex nodded. "Acceptable performance, Cadet Morrison." Joined the others. As Morrison walked off, BTH growled, "Lucky shots." Nothing more. But I wasn't so sure. The following days turned our hierarchy upside down. Morrison's combat performance was shaking things up. Again, Combat Instructor Pyrax ordered, as BTH charged at Morrison. But Morrison effortlessly found a pressure point in BTH's armor, sending him crashing to the floor. "Luck," BTH snarled. Morrison, surprising us all, spoke perfect Drachnid. "Strength comes in many forms. Want me to demonstrate again?" "Enough," Pyrax interrupted. "Partner combat. Morrison, you're with Naira. BTH with Cracks." BTH and I squared off as Naira attacked Morrison from above, but Morrison dodged with ease. He fought without enhanced gear, relying only on his skills. It made BTH growl. "The human is making us look weak." That night, whispers about Morrison spread, and I overheard a conversation about his personal combat logs. He spent hours training after everyone left, simulating deadly scenarios. BH, frustrated, said, "The human is destroying our traditions." Tensions rose. BTH began to rally support, claiming Morrison threatened the Academy's hierarchy. The next day, BTH requested a full-contact demonstration match. The stakes? If BTH won, Morrison would leave Gemma. If Morrison won, BTH would train every non-predator species cadet. BTH accepted. Morrison's calm response, "When I win," sent a chill through the arena. The bet was made. The crowd buzzed with excitement. Morrison stood still, his eyes scanning BTH with surgical precision, waiting for the right moment. The match began, and I knew we were about to see something that would change everything.